All right, live music from Studio B today, Devils in Dust, right out of Asheville, North Carolina, and that song called Whiskey Love. How many songs have equated those two things over the years?
I know, right? That one started out as Corey and I we sat down and we were like, let's write a song just sort of poking fun at country music just a little bit, like in a sweet way. Because every country song has whiskey in it. It's about whiskey, whatever. So we were sort of trying to poke fun at that, and it turned out to be a really sweet song, so that backfired. We thought it was going to be funny, and then it kind of turned out nice.
When did the whole writing partnership begin with you guys?
Well, Corey was in my band, Lee Glass and the Hazards, for about 5 years. And is that right, babe?
That's right, yeah.
4 or 5 years. I call him babe because we're married now.
It's okay. It's acceptable.
And we
Get
never
off my back.
we never wrote together while he was the guitarist in the band, but shortly after those 5 years, we started dating and we started writing together. Or did we write together first and then started dating?
I think it was exactly at the same time.
Yeah.
I think we started dating and writing.
Song, right?
Yeah.
It's not that far off, actually.
And it's sometimes it's really hard to write with other people. Co-writing is just a special skill, I think. And Corey always had written songs for his band, and I wrote songs for my band. So I was like, I wonder how this is going to work out. And it worked out so far, knock on wood, great.
Yeah.
We haven't killed each other in marriage or in songwriting.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
And the singing, too. I mean, which was the first thing where you went, no, we can work together? Was it writing a song, or was it when you put your voices together?
That
Voices.
naturally happened through the years. I mean, we recorded an album together, and actually, we did that. Well, I did the one album with you, and just playing on stage in so many shows, and then I really learned how to tailor my voice to sing, not lead, and sing to back her up, and then it was really complimentary, and it was a nice thing. We just kept exploring it and kept seeing how far we could take it. So now we really dig a lot into that true kind of duet world. So.
Yeah, it's cool because it sounds like, I mean, it's a long, slow kind of organic growth, and now you've got this record, and you already said it, but it feels like you really did it right. It wasn't like, let's slam this thing out and sell it at shows.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, we wanted to do it right, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, tell us about it. Tell us about your new record.
Corey, you want to?
Sure, yeah. We've been writing these songs together. This is kind of the culmination of us writing these songs, and we were performing these songs. We wanted a new outlet to do this with. It wasn't Lee Glass and the Hazards anymore. It was something new, and so we really just, I think you just flat out asked me one day, Lee just flat out asked me one day, she was like, let's record an album. I was like, okay. And the more we did it, we were like, well, where do we want to do it? And how do we want to do it? Who do we want to have on it? And we just kept thinking, well, like, if this is the last album we ever make, let's just go for broke and put this together. So we did the bulk of it up at Echo Mountain in Asheville, which is a fantastic place. We've been there many times. And then the Muscle Shoals stuff happened as well through a long we can talk about that in a little while, but that's a whole other story about how we ended up there.
Yeah, it was some crazy
just
connections.
Through weird connections and also us just going for it, just a certain amount of like, well, let's just do it, because when are we ever going to get to do it again? So go for broke.
Yeah.
The Asheville sessions, you work with Mike Ashworth on those.
We did, yeah. Mike's an old friend of mine.
Right.
I was best man in his wedding, and he was best man in my wedding last year to this lovely lady over here. So, yeah, Mike's an old friend and musical partner since forever. So.
Yeah, the band Fifth House.
Yep.
When Mike was in there back in the day.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And he plays on the record. Mike Agino's on the record. Steve Canyon Rangers guys.
Absolutely, yeah. Mike plays bass, and he produced the majority of the record. And Mike Agino plays mandolin on a couple of tracks. He played on that last track that we just did, and it just filled it out really nicely. We've also got Matt Smith playing pedal steel on there, and
Jeff Babco, who is
Yeah.
the keyboardist for Jimmy Kimmel Live, and
he lives out in California, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He was in L.A.
Well, Ashworth, they were on tour. The Rangers were on tour, and Ashworth calls us one day, and he's like, "Okay, Jeff Babco, I played him a couple of those songs, just rough. I mean, horrible, like us, just like messing around in the living room." He's like, "Babco says he wants to play keys on those," and we were like, "Okay, can we afford him?" And he's like, "Yeah, totally." That was another thing I was going to say about Mike Gugino is that after he put down the tracks on the record, and I called him and I said, "How much do I owe you for that session?" And he said, "Well, I didn't get you anything for your wedding present. So take that.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's I'll say it again. It sounds really big and well made record all the way through, and
Thank you.
yeah, good stuff.
Thanks.
Let's see. We can talk about Muscle Shoals. Let's get another song and
Okay.
let folks know again. Saturday, Jack of the Wood in Asheville. 1 o'clock. Is that what you told me? you're
1
playing?
o'clock.
Correct.
And that's part of that whole big Warren Haynes party, right? The Jam by Day, they call it. So.
Yes, Kevin Kenny songwriter. It used to be called the Songwriter Jam, but now I think it's just the Kevin Kenny Jam, Christmas Jam by Day.
He's been doing that for several. He does the Asheville part. I mean, the Jack of the Wood part, right?
does,
on
yeah.
Saturday. He's been doing that for years. so.
Yeah, Kevin Kenny from Driving and Crying. He's
Right.
a great person. We love him, and
It's
the
a-
crowd loves him.
It's an event unto itself. It's really become a very cool thing. We've been there how many years in a row now?
think
Been
4,
different
maybe.
incarnations just playing, and it's you're starting to see the same people
Yeah.
will definitely like that's as much of their Christmas Jam experience as the actual Christmas Jam is coming to that the by day stuff, and especially the Jack of the Wood thing really has a lot of heart and soul to it.
And it's you're in that it's a small
Tiny
room
little place,
relatively.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's just everything about that I would think must be such a
Oh,
rush
yeah.
for you guys.
Last year the power went out, and right in the middle of
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
was it
Power
2 years
went- yeah,
ago?
the
Was it-
power
and,
went
and
out.
and then everybody, it was a sing along. Like
Uh-huh.
Kevin just went out in the middle, and we all sang along to various songs. So.
I think I have a video of that somewhere.
Yeah.
It's it was great. But that's the thing, like people love him. He's they really pay attention to him. They listen to what he says, and he's always yelling at the crowd, "Be quiet! These songwriters are coming up."
How cool
And
that
it's-
that whole thing happens right here in Asheville.
Oh, I know.
And it's not just this big superstar event Saturday night. How it spills off into all through the community.
Oh, for sure. I think it was last year. Well, throughout the years, at least that we've been there, at some point in the day, some of the bigger players for the Christmas Jam are going to come by there. They'll be hanging out or whatever. And then it's so funny to see all the musicians like us that are playing there, and we're like scrambling, see if he can come up on stage and play with us, and that happens. I mean, I'm not shy at all. Like Sadler Raden, who's a guy from Charleston, but he's the guitarist for Jason Isbell. And he was playing in Kevin Kenny's band a couple years ago, and we have mutual friends, and I said, hey, you want to play with us? And so he played, and then we had not last year, the year before was Aaron Lee Tajjan, who's out of Nashville, a great
Right.
songwriter, and he was playing in Kevin's band, and so we got him, and then
The moral is don't come near us unless you want to get up on stage.
Right.
With us, 'cause-
Bring your guitar pick.
yeah,
So and
exactly.
if people want to get in, they're going to have to show up early. Huh? Be crowded there, and
Oh yeah, it'll
Check
be
the band.
crowded for sure.
that's Saturday at 1 o'clock. And again, the band is Devils and Dust. They're out of Asheville. They've got this new CD out, which we've been enjoying quite a bit. What's your next team?